Hey guys, V-Man from No Budget Productions, and doing today, I am going to be playing Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. Now, this game is the first Castlevania game that I ever played. I played it when I was 11 or 12 years old. The first time I played this game, my parents were over at another person's house. They're friends, and the the person who introduced me to it was uh, she was this hot chick who was a couple of years older than me, and I instantly fell in love with her and the game. So, win-win for me. So, this game instantly became a classic for me, and I loved it. No matter what game I played since, whether it was Symphony of the Night or Super Castlevania, which I find to be better games than this game still remains one of my all-time favorites. So I'm going to be playing each level per video to just put out regular content and have fun with you guys. So, yeah. So that being said, here we go. Of course, everybody, I'm going to be putting my name here, V-Man. There is, of course, the code word help me, which will give you 10 lives, but I don't think I need that here. If I do, I don't mind restarting. It doesn't really bother me too bad. It's not really an ego thing for a game that is, 30, 40 years old. It doesn't really bother me that bad. Good old Trevor Belmont. He looks exactly like Simon Belmont does from the very first Castlevania game, which I thought was a wonderful throwback to the first Castlevania game. I wasn't a fan of the first Castlevania game. Didn't really like it. I think probably because I constantly compared it to this one, which, like I said, was a huge favorite of mine. This became a really great platforming game for me, and I think this kind of set the bar, set the tone for what I thought a platforming game should be. I do like Simon's Quest, which is Castlevania 2, but I find that one to be just fucking hard. I mean, you can't really just pick it up and play. You kind of have to sit there. It's kind of like, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. Simon's Quest kind of reminds me of like Zelda 2. You have to put a lot of time into it, whereas something like this, you can kind of just pick it up and go. But then again, you do have the save system, which you really didn't have in the first Castlevania game. So this kind of takes the good things about Castlevania that you like and improve upon it. Where the second Castlevania, it varied a lot from what you enjoyed about Castlevania. Kind of like Mario 2. It was very, very different than the first Mario game. So I think with Mario, Castlevania, and the Legend of Zelda series, the sequels were much different than the very first game. But you go back to Mario 3 and, like here, Castlevania 3, they really do feel a lot like the originals. This part of the level I hate the most, just because Medusa's Head, even if you're a skilled gamer, one tag from getting hit by one of the Medusa heads and you fly back, and those rotating platforms land you through the bottom. That I find really frustrating. And no matter, like I said, no matter how skilled you are, you're still bound to get hit from time to time by that. That comes up later on in the game a lot more. And I'm not that skilled at this game, so I don't like that. They're the most frustrating enemy I find. And I love the fact that they make the level up, or I mean the health meter, eating meat that you just happen to find on these buildings. I find that funny. Like I wouldn't be eating flesh that I find in the side of a building, I really enjoy this game. The beauty of the mountains, the horror and degradation of the scenery, it really does give this vibe that you are in an area that has been just obliterated by decay and destruction. I like that, especially when you're in the um, uh, the houses and everything. It really looks beautiful, especially for an 8-bit graphic game. They put a lot of time and effort into that. Um, I think that I think this is a really beautiful game. Shit. Yeah, a lot of these bosses battles, you just have to figure out what what their damn it. You just have to figure out what their how how their ways of attack are, and then they have a pretty easy. Uh, you just have to figure out their ways of attack, and it's pretty easy to beat them. So it was a pretty fun level. I like it. Like I said, it's not too hard. It's a pretty fun game. So uh, yeah. So that being said, we have a choice that we're going to be going to for this next level, and here we go. We can either go up to the clock tower, or we can go down to the woods. And dum dum dum, which one shall we choose? Find out next week on Castlevania 3: Dracula's Curse.